Tonight's newsmakers heading into 2025 with high expectations. The police department he leads is North Carolina's Law Enforcement Agency of the Year, a distinction it'll carry until at least this summer. The North Carolina Police Executives Association awards this recognition annually to the agency that implements, to use its words, innovative programs or policies not knowingly used elsewhere. Recently, Burlington Police Chief Alan Balogh showed me how his department's relying heavily on technology, the likes of which you will not find in most agencies this size. In Burlington, North Carolina, population a little more than 60,000. Law enforcement has moved into a new dimension.
We've got a real commitment to be at the forefront of modern policing and doing things the best way.
Backed with a $27 million annual budget and a staff of
150 officers hired now. Wow. And another 50 professional staff members with telecommunicators and the rest of the team.
Alan Balogh is the police chief in the city where he grew up. His last name is synonymous with local law enforcement here. His father, Steve Balogh, served as Alamance County's district attorney and a Superior Court judge for more than 20 years.
I had the opportunity to meet a lot of police officers growing up, and I developed a strong respect for them, the nature of the work that they did. I recognize that policing can be very exciting, that it has a tremendous amount of variety, and more importantly, that it's an opportunity to help people.
But Balogh also knows policing can be tough, like when Mason Jenkins, at 7 years old, was shot and killed after getting caught in crossfire last September. Balogh calls this case among the most difficult of his career so far.
An innocent child playing in the street outside of his apartment. No one in this world expects someone like that to become a victim.
Had something like this ever happened in Burlington before?
No, this is the first time we've ever had a juvenile bystander who's been shot and much less killed.
And then there are the crime-fighting paradoxes. Although there was a 66% drop in gun-related homicides in Burlington last year, more and more young people are packing heat. And although Burlington officers seized more than 150 firearms in 2024, including these you see here, the ones they seized and are still encountering are more sophisticated.
Ghost guns, weapons that don't have a serial number, that didn't come from any kind of legitimate sale. Right. Weapons that have been converted to shoot fully automatic.
What is your biggest crime-fighting challenge right now in the city of Burlington?
I think it's a challenge that exists in a lot of other places, and that's just cooperation with the police. There's still doubt in the minds of people that witness violent things that happen to something about their own personal safety. Yeah. And there's challenges getting folks to come forward and tell what's happened.
But here in the 911 Communications Center, the department's using sophisticated technology to, among other things, counter that reluctance of people to come forward. It includes 12 cameras placed in high crime locations, dangerous intersections, and other areas in the city.
And so if there's a crime that's happening in that space, we'll have video to go back and watch and review what happened.
Then there's the new Aerial Reconnaissance and Tactical Intelligence Center. The part currently under construction will be a real-time crime center where officers can monitor even more cameras. But the aerial part of the operation launched last summer, literally, with an officer using this control area to launch a drone off the police department's roof. This drone program's already helped Burlington officers track an offender who had run away from them.
Tracked him through backyards, on the backs of people, porches on the backs of people's houses, under sheds, under cars, all leading to an arrest.
Also last summer, the Burlington Police Department became the first law enforcement agency in North Carolina to use artificial intelligence to review thousands of hours of officer body camera video. It's part of a 2-year pilot program taxpayers aren't funding. When officers come here to download their camera video, AI then scans all that video and flags, among other things, bad language or sudden changes in tone of voice.
And it provides essentially immediate feedback to the officers about the quality of the work that they've done. And then the supervisors also get notifications and can conduct their own reviews of what's happening in all these different interactions. The Burlington Police Department is always focused on doing policing the right way, the way that they want to be treated at the highest possible standards. And that's what we will continue to deliver.
The Trulio Artificial Intelligence Program reviews 100% of body camera video. Without it, the department would only be able to review just a small fraction of that. The department has 2 drones, one there at police headquarters, another at a fire department. The department's also using what it's calling Good Sam technology that allows 911 callers to actually share live smartphone camera video with the department. Other innovations that helped Burlington earn the Department of the Year award include the success of the opioid response team. The number of fatal overdoses has been cut in half there in recent years. Also, the city's civilian crash investigators are responding to minor accidents in the city, clearing more sworn officers to handle more serious calls.